Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, May 13th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame after yesterday's wipeout into about 38.55 on the low here. You can see price is pushing beyond the previous session's highs for the first time in quite a while since Fed Day. That was the last time price had pushed beyond the prior session's highs. After that, lower highs day over day with lower lows day over day. This is going to be important to see if price can remain beyond the previous session's high. If so, there could be a short-term rotation back toward 40.50 to the upside. 40.50 would be these highs right here, as it is recapturing the previous market structure on a shorter time frame. Keep in mind the downward trending PIMA structure here is still very bearish. You have a bearish PIMA trigger zone, so even if price pushes into that zone and say test 4100, it could still be an opportunity for bears to defend the bounce and look for another rotation downward. As of right now, price is still trying to hold the third standard deviation below VWAP here, so we're 3 standard deviations below VWAP and finding some initial strength. Again, typically speaking, 3 standard deviation tends to be an opportunity to buy much cheaper and return it to value, but in a market that's still trying to find a strong low, again, you got to be a bit more cautious down here. If you look at this lower line, there is a lower line that is very, very clear. You have the upper line right here. Again, if we can find at least some short-term strength off these lows and pop back above 4,000, that could provide a short-term rotation back toward the FOMC key level at 4,200 and perhaps even a move a bit higher. So again, short-term right now, if price can stay above the previous session high, it opens up a bit of upside toward the 40.50 level and perhaps a bit higher. So again, that is a long shot given the overall weakness we've seen, and even if we do bounce again, given the weakness here that we've seen since the end of March, it could still be an opportunity to sell this thing. So really, in order for lasting strength to occur, you want price to really pop back above the 4,100 bottom of the market structure and hold that level. So again, that's going to be the level to watch for a broader medium-term recovery. Let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ also showing a little bit of strength here off the lows, not quite as bullish as the ES at the moment, but it is above the previous session's high price. Again, that's the first time since last week when price pushed higher after the FOMC announcement. Since then, lower highs every single day for the most part with lower lows, and we're now testing the 12,200 previous year's low. Again, if price can continue to stay above yesterday's high, it opens up a short-term rotation back to 12,500. So there could be about another 300 points of upside here today. And again, that could still be an opportunity to sell this thing for bears looking to pile on to the downtrending market. In order for price to really recover on a medium-term basis, price needs to bounce back above the 13K level and hold. Above 13K and holding opens up 14 and maybe back up to the 15 level. So again, a long way here from seeing a bullish recovery, but being above the previous session's high is the first step here towards seeing some short-term strength, and if price can continue to hold above that level, there could be a move as high as 12.5 by the end of the day or heading into the next week. So again, we'll continue to watch the previous session's high. Now, given the overall weakness of this market, a failure to hold above the previous session's high would be a bearish failed new high, and that could open up significant weakness by the end of the day. Remember, we're in a downtrending market, and morning strength has been sold for late day weakness, and until it can prove otherwise, that remains the primary structure of this trend. Let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude oil right now up another 2.5% today, making its way back up toward the upper end of the trading range. Again, this market just continues to trade really between 95 and 115. It hasn't even really tested those edges lately as it continues to compress. But the recent highs here take you as high as 111s. The recent lows take you into 98s. Right now, strong reversal with an upside push. and we could be looking at a push beyond the 110 level at some point later in the day. Again, until price can push through 115 here, any push higher could be seen as an opportunity to fade it back down toward the midline of this range, 104, 105, with a shot to rotate back toward the bottom. And again, we just continue to see this thing trade back and forth until proven otherwise. Bitcoin is up 7+ percent here today. We noted yesterday how significant that test was in the 25K zone. Prices below the previous year's low being defended in big fashion. Again, we noted that price needed to hold. It needed to hold after that reversal, and it did. You can see a buy signal develop there. This is a significant development here, although it's not out of the weeds just yet, but it's a significant development, a big time reaction at a big time zone, and the fact that it's recovered back above the previous year's low is bullish as of right now. We're actually seeing price push through the previous session's high again for the first time since Fed Day. That's the last time price had sniffed anything above a prior session's high. Since then, it's been all lower highs, lower lows, and a devastating sell-off from 40K back to 25K just over the last week. So being above the previous session's high, again, mildly bullish here. Staying or getting back above the previous year's low, again, quite bullish, but it has to stay above that level by the end of the day. It has to prove it heading into the weekend. And if so, again, as we mentioned from the beginning of the year, if we were to test 25K, it might be one of the best buys on the board for a rotation back up. And again, until price can really get back above 34,000, we're still kind of in a downtrending mode. Back above 34K puts you into that range that it's been in throughout the year, but that's still kind of a long shot at this moment, and we have to see the market prove it by the end of the day. Can it stay above 30K by the end of the day? Lastly, looking at Ether futures here, this one is up 8% today, 8.75% as of right now. Not quite above the previous session's high, but pushing higher. This one hit the 1700 level. 1700 is a significant edge. Major CLVN there. You could see the last 3 times it rotated off that level, it was significant. This is the 4th test here since April of 2021. So again, big time movement here off this level multiple times. We hit it again, and we're seeing a rotation back above 2000. We're trading 2100 now. That is a solid bounce, and as we mentioned yesterday, given the impulse sell-offs that we've seen since last week, and this being a decently strong enough low, not quite as strong as Bitcoin, but decently strong, we could be looking at a bounce back toward the midpoint of that range, and that's about 2350 or so. Let's get that 2338.5. So we could be looking at 2338.5 as a snapback point, just as a short-term target. Again, this market has to prove it by the end of the day, as all strength in the morning has led to afternoon weakness. We'll see if they can hang on to these gains heading into the weekend. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.